In a smooth stationary cart of length d, a small block is projected along its length with a velocity v towards front. Coefficient of the restitution for each collision is e. The car rests on a smooth horizontal ground and can move freely. Okay, and it can move freely over here. So the cart rests on a smooth ground and it can move freely. The time taken by the block to come to rest with respect to the cart will be equal to, okay, the block has to come to rest with respect to the ground, with respect to the block. Okay, now first of all understand that I can say that the initial velocity is equal to v, okay, or I can say that the initial relative velocity is equal to v, okay, relative velocity of the block with respect to the cart, okay, with respect to the cart it will be equal to v. Okay, so after first collision the velocity will be equal to v into e, okay, where e is the coefficient of the restitution. If I calculate v2, it will be equal to v into e, which will be equal to e square. So basically for n number of collisions we have to calculate the number of collisions, or after certain time after which it comes to rest. So for after n number of collisions it will be equal to v e raised to n. Okay, after n number of collisions it will be equal to v e raised to n. We have to calculate the time. The time taken will be equal to time taken for the first collision, okay, plus time taken for the second collision, plus time taken for the third collision and the nth collision. Okay, so over here if I substitute the values, I do not know the value of n. So first of all, if I substitute the value, time will be equal to distance upon speed, it will be equal to d divided by v. Okay, for the second it will be equal to d divided by v into e, for the third it will be equal to d divided by v into e square, and so on. Okay, so if I substitute the values, if I take d by v common over here, it will be equal to 1 plus 1 by e plus 1 by e square plus 1 by e n, 1 by e raised to n, the last part will be 1 by e raised to n. Okay, understand that e over here will be less than 1. Okay, e over here will be less than or equal to 1 if it is an elastic collision. Okay, even if it is not an elastic collision, it will be less than 1. So when I add the values over here, 1 plus this value, the second value will be greater than 1, the third value will be even greater than the second value, and the fourth one will be greater than the third value, and so on. So if I go on adding, it will come to infinity. Okay, so the total time taken for this cart, okay, to come to rest with respect to the block will be infinite, which is equal to option number D.